What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Just the Norm. Hey, I haven't really done this quite a bit on this art channel. I've been posting some speed arts lately, but today I decided to do a full in-depth follow me as I draw, showing you some of the tips and tricks that I've learned to create digital art in Adobe Illustrator. And much of this goes shout out to my homie Chi World 1234. Pretty much everything that I learned, well, with a few things that I had to learn myself, but most of the things that I've learned came from watching his videos. So if you're not familiar with his channel, check his channel out. But without further ado, let's get right into this. All right, today I'm going to be drawing a picture of Rosalia, a music artist who just dropped a new video too as well with The Weeknd. If you haven't heard it, go ahead and check it out. It's a pretty dope song. I don't speak Spanish all that well, but I just saw it and I was like, oh, well, let me go ahead and draw a picture. Now, this isn't the exact same picture, but first thing you want to do is you're in Adobe Illustrator. You got it in front of you. You create your new project. You can do it from a template if you have a saved template, or you can just choose a size. Normally, I do 18 by 18. Sometimes I may do 1280 by 720, depending on how big the picture is. So I'm doing 18 by 18. For this particular one, I'm using RGB, all right, red, green, and blue. I've been kind of messing with this back and forth, and I find that the CMYK color is great if you want a little bit more options. It is better if you plan on printing your artwork, but if you're planning on just keeping it online, I think the RGB transfers better. Because sometimes I'll be drawing a picture, I'll be doing all this shading in, and then I notice some things are missing when I get ready to export my picture. So, and doing some research on this, and I could be wrong, somebody else might want to correct me, but I think RGB is the best option if you're just planning on keeping it online. But CMYK is the overall better quality if you're gonna plan on printing it on a t-shirt, or you print it on a banner or canvas or something like that. You definitely use the CMYK. You really don't have to have the raster effects that high. The higher you have it, the more memory it uses. Just to let you know, so if you're having some problems with your Illustrator, try dropping it, and then when you get ready to export, you can always, boost it back up if you need to. But for on screen, 72 is fine, but I normally do 300 pixels. All right, the first thing that you want to do is you're in your project, get ready to go to File, go to Place, Shift Control P if you want to do the shortcut for that. You may do that as well. Place, and then find your picture, and these are some of the pictures that I have in here. I just did Morbius, which is pretty fun to do. So if you haven't seen that video, you can check that one out, definitely. All right. All right, I'm trying to find pictures, AI images, and then the picture that I'm looking for is right here, Rosalia. Okay. All right, so what you want to do is make sure that you choose the best picture that you can if you're trying to do a portrait of somebody, a digital portrait, because the more pixelated that it is, the harder it's going to be for you to really see exactly what the lines are doing. I mean, you have to kind of guesstimate, which is fine. Sometimes when you're doing work for other people, they may send you a really, really old picture, and you just have to do the best that you can. I'm going to, I hit my microphone, sorry about that. I'm going to go ahead and press Control and the minus key to zoom out. This picture is very big. You can see how big it is. It's very big. So if I want to make this picture smaller, I press Control and the Alt key, and then I can drag it in smaller to where I want it to be. And I'm not worried about, now I could do the whole picture if I wanted to, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to try to get the top just like that. Yep, so I'm not going to get the whole picture. Press Control plus sign, zooms back in. Now you can use this, the way that it is, I like to embed the picture. For some reason on my old system, this is a newer computer that I built, but my old system, I used to have problems where I would get a lot of memory issues dealing with that picture. So it helps to embed it. That way it is actually there. Of course, you're gonna drop the opacity on it. You can drop it down to between 60 and 70%. It just depends on how dark the picture is. You can make it light if you need to. You just want to be able to see your line work on top of it. So I'll keep it about 69%. Every now and then I might change things around because I am still new to this. I am still learning Adobe Illustrator. I do not know a lot of stuff on here. I know the basics, but there's so much stuff that you can do, and they're steady updating the software like weekly. So, all right, I got this. Now I could crop this if I want to, crop my image so that way I don't have to see any of that. And I might go ahead and do that actually. So I'll crop it, drag this in right there. Just depends on whatever works for you. But seeing that extra stuff sometimes kind of messes with my mind. So I'm only gonna crop it to the part that I need. Press apply. All right, and there we go. And then you wanna go ahead and lock this layer. So click on the toggle lock right here. And then you wanna add a new layer. Now, for its brushes, I am using the Vike A50, which is a graphics tablet. So if you don't have a graphics tablet, this option may not work for you, but I just press add brush, calligraphic brush, and I can name it if I want to. I don't ever really worry about doing that. I'm gonna set this to 3 points. I'm gonna make it pressure. This particular tablet does really well. I mean, it's not the best tablet, but it's a cheap tablet. It cost me like $50. So if you're looking for a tablet, definitely, I think I have the description for this tablet, the link for it in the description. So you definitely can do that and check it out. All right, so I have that added. And while I'm doing that, sometimes I like to delete some of these other brushes that I know I'm not going to use because sometimes they can get in the way. All right, that's cool. So I have this one. I am also going to create some other brushes. There's a few different other ways to get some sharp lines. If you want to do it, you can, of course, you can do this with a pressurized pen or with a tablet. But you can also do, you draw the pen tool, get that, make your point. All right, make this line, make it a little thicker. All right, and then what you do is you take this, I'm gonna make sure this is blocked. So you take this line, you go up to where it says uniform at the top, variable width profile, and then you can taper the ends. All right, then I can take that and add it, and I'm just gonna make it an art brush. Make sure you put it on tints. Everything else is fine. All right. Then I'm going to take it and click it, and then I'm going to make it just one end tapered. These are good if you're doing like, you know, you fill in hair or fill in eyelashes or things like that. Works pretty well. Tints. All right. And then I can delete that. So now here's my pressurized brush. And when I draw, I just, you know, you start light and you can get thicker. All right, so start light and you can get thicker, and then I can get light. Okay, it takes some getting used to using this, especially with this glove, because I do not like using the glove, but the glove came with it. It helps so that way you can slide real easy. It would help if this tablet was, you know, up, you know, because mine is real flat and I just have it laying flat on my desk. But I am going to eventually buy a new one. That way I can have it elevated, you know, where I can just be drawing like this versus drawing, because this becomes a hassle. But anyway, enough of me talking. Let's get into it. All right, so I'm gonna click and delete this. All right, and I have my layer ready. All right, I'm gonna go in. Now, I am getting better and better with drawing these eyes and drawing these ornaments on the face, because sometimes it can be difficult for me. But I'm gonna tell you, rule of thumb is that you really want to have the top of the eye thicker and you want the bottom lid to be thinner. So since I know there's eyelashes right here, I'm not afraid to draw this thick. So I'm gonna go like that. All right. I don't like the way that looks. All right. Sometimes with this tablet too, might be because of sensitivity on it. Sometimes I get these dots that I really don't want. I'm going to make this smooth. If you want to make your fidelity smoother, just come here, double click on the paintbrush, click it, and then have it that way. I'm going to put it right here. And what this does is it basically corrects, you know, what you really meant to do, because you want your artwork or your line work to look as best as possible. And I'm gonna make this thin. Still don't like that. Sometimes this is why I don't even really do these, is because I know that sometimes it takes me forever to get this stuff done. So if you press Control X and press the N key, that'll change it to a pencil. And what I'm gonna do is I kind of see that there's a shadow like right here. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and shade this in, especially with the eyeball. Come back up here. And I'm gonna go over here. Right. And now I could go ahead and draw the eyelashes, but I'm gonna do that next. All right, kind of notice that that's there. And I'm gonna bring it out. I'm gonna look at it, say, is that what I really meant to do? Yeah, okay. Because it's not really that dark. But it's just up to your interpretation. Sometimes it's not making it perfectly like it is, it's making it perfect for yourself. So, all right. And I'm gonna switch back to Control X, switch back to where I have the stroke versus the fill. If you press the bracket key, left bracket key, it'll allow you to minimize or make the brush smaller. Do it like that. Yeah, that's fine. Keep it that way. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and draw these lashes in. And with these lashes, I am just kind of, there's a few different ways you can do it. You can use the pencil tool like I'm doing now, and I'm kind of drawing what I think I see, and this might not be perfect. I don't like that. Another option you can do is you can just, instead of using the pencil key, you can use the brush tool and just draw the lashes, each of the lashes in. So I'm noticing it's kind of hard for me to see this picture. So I'm going to go back to the picture, unlock it, and I'm going to drop the opacity. I'm going to boost the opacity back up a little bit because this picture is kind of dark right there. All right, and then I'm going to go back to my N tool. And I can make this look a little better. I'm gonna go ahead and click on my art brush one, the one that I have that has both tapered ends on it. Or I can click on this one that has tapered on one side. I'm gonna make it smaller. Get back to the brush. Good. This makes it look a little bit more realistic. And then on this side, I can tell there's a black line there. Let's see, I can do it this way. I can do this, you know, if I wanted to do it that way. But I'm not gonna do that yet. All right, let's go ahead and draw the line. Press Control X to bring it back up to stroke. Going back to my brush. All right, and then I'm gonna come. Sometimes it's always hard for me to draw from right to left for some reason, but I'm gonna try it. All right. I notice it is not on the right thing because I'm not on the right brush. There we go. And let's bring the opacity back up. Sometimes I forget to do that. All right. Let's do that one more time. Okay. I'm gonna zoom all the way in so I can connect this part right here. You want to make sure that your line work is connected, because what'll happen is if you're getting ready to do the coloring, I guess I'll go ahead and save it since I haven't done it yet. I'm just gonna say test portrait 11. And I'll name it for real later on. All right, you want to make sure that you have your lines closed off, and the reason why is because there's a coloring technique that you can do that'll help save you time, because otherwise you'd have to shade in every little aspect of it, and you really don't want to be spending all day long doing that. So if you use this option, then it'll save you some time. I don't like the way I did that. That's all right. I'll deal with it. Sometimes I be rushing through this, and sometimes I have to take my time. That wasn't quite the way I meant to do it. You gotta be careful when you're trying to draw. It's like when you let go of the pen, sometimes it'll just have a mind of its own. Is that what I want? Come along. All right, I'm gonna go back and choose those tapered ones. Oh, I'm on the wrong option. You might have realized it. I was like, why is this not working? I was on the wrong option. Let's do this. Drop it. Size. Is this gonna be perfectly like it is on the picture? Sometimes, yeah, I can get it that way, but sometimes I'm just I'm doing it the way I really want to see it. If you press A on the keyboard, it will allow you to do a direct selection. That way, in case you need to adjust something or maybe you need to clean up your lines. I find myself doing this quite a bit. And in a way, you can it's like almost cheating for real, because you can make it do what you didn't even draw, but you can make it look totally different than what you had originally. All right. So for these eyelashes, they're fine. I'm gonna draw right here, and notice that there's a line there. Eyebrows. Now, there's a few ways I can do these eyebrows. I can do it just using my tool here and just put them in one by one if I want to do it that way, or just keep drawing them. But another secret is to just draw using the pencil tool, and then you can always add the individual graphs later on to make it look like that it's a realistic eyebrow at the very end of the process, if I can talk. All right, I know that normally I would make this black, but I'm not gonna make it black. I'm gonna make it some type of brown color. I can sample the color if you press the sample eyedropper tool. You can sample it and kind of figure out what color it is. So I don't want to do it. I think I want to make it like right here. So I'm gonna make it that color. Right. Press Control X, make sure that the fill tool is locked in. Alright, and what I'm doing is just kind of emulating what I think the eyebrows are doing. It's okay if I go over some.
Que me duele, se supone que está acostumbrada a tus traiciones, que nadie es como ella. Eso impone, la idea no es encontrar a alguien con tus mismas intenciones. Sé que la emoción que ha destrozado mi corazón lo irá a sanar. Solo hay que esperar. Prefiero un te odio más un te quiero que no sea de verdad. Estoy bien, eso es lo que digo, pero me duele si respiro. El problema no es que ya no haya nada, sino la verdad que nunca pudiste decirme. Yeah, yeah. Porque eres así, ya sé, bebé. No sientes lo mismo, lo que yo sentí. Para ti, yo fui solo una noche más. No más, yeah. De poesías, tus cuentos, mi amor, yeah. El amor es tan corto, olvidarte, no, yeah. Los Los dos amamos de más, enamorado de tu mirar y tú de otra. Porque eres así, ya sé, bebé, no sientes lo mismo, lo que yo sentí para ti. Yo fui solo una noche más, no más, no más. Lo que es, para ti fue una aventura y yo, bebé, quería ser tu Romeo la última vez. Te juro que la última vez. Ser doble cara está de moda. El egoísmo a ti te ahoga y tus mentiras. No dejo que eso siga. Prefiero un te odio más un te quiero que no sea de verdad.
There's one way that I choose color, and that's looking at the original picture. Of course, I can see the different shadows. I see there's a shadow right there. I see there's one right here. There's multiple shadows on the head, on the eyes, everywhere basically. But a good way to cheat is by doing this. But first, let me go ahead and prepare it. Let's say like up here, and I'm going to uncheck my picture. Of course, I know that eye still looks weird, but I'm gonna color that in later because I should have colored the other one in a different color as well. So this one, encontrar a alguien con tus mismas intenciones. Let's expand again. I'll do it twice to make sure that everything is good to go. First merge in my Pathfinder. Alright, then it should be all one part now. So if I did it right, take this, bring it down here. Now when I go to color this, should be fine. Lock that for a second. Lock this one. Color. I like to sample the skin tone to kind of get an idea of where the picture is at. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the opacity back up. And then sample color. See, my highlights are right here. Some highlights over here. It's kind of got a rosy, kind of pinky cheeks there. My shadow is coming on this side. There's some shadow here. So the sun is facing this way, and it's dark on this side. So I'll always try to go for not the lightest tone that I see, but I go for a tone that's slightly under that. So I'm gonna say probably like right here. This may be a good tone to start with. Just kind of red. Start right here. And that might be fine. You can always adjust it later on. So got that layer locked. Take this off real quick. And I'm going to go to the rectangle tool on the top. Make sure that you have it where your fill. I didn't mean to do that. Oops. Did that by accident. All right, make sure you got your fill tool on. And I hit these little side windows that keep popping up now, but that's because it's letting me know all the new updates that it has. But anyway, so go to the rectangle tool and drag it over the picture. Make sure you cover the whole entire thing. Right click on it, go to arrange and send to back. Right, you know if you've done it right because you'll see the black on top down here in layer 2. Alright, and then once I have that, I can retweak that color if I want to, like I feel Okay. Alright, so once I have that, I can go ahead, select the whole thing, press merge. Alright, And if I did it right, I should be able to left click, right click, isolate selected group. I should click and delete everything. And I still have everything else colored in. Okay. Cool trick. Let's go down here and lock the line work. So go all the way down to the last black you have. Lock it, and then you just go up, lock the whole entire thing. You want to leave the first two layers unlocked. What this allows you to do is while you're in isolated mode, I can just highlight this part. Select group, come and delete all the color that I don't want there. Not mess with my line.
Es encontrar a alguien con tus mismas intenciones. Sé que la emoción que ha destrozado mi corazón lo irá a sanar. Solo hay que esperar. Prefiero un te odio más un te quiero que no.
I remember the very first picture that I drew like this. I had it I didn't realize at the end that you don't want to delete color unless it's part of the background, because if you delete it from the picture itself, then when you go and try to bring it into Instagram or something, sometimes the colors come up reversed. So I did a picture of a friend of mine, and that picture, it looked great when I was looking at it in Illustrator, but when I went outside of Illustrator, it looked like he had black eyes, and that was because I had a black background and I did not put his eyes as white. So make sure that you color everything within your video. Everything within the picture itself. Now your background, like this part right here, this is all white. I'll leave that there because I'm gonna put background behind it. But everything that deals with this image or with the person that you're doing a portrait, make sure you color. Even if it's white, color it white. Make sure you click on white. Because if you just delete it and think you're good, later on you're gonna have some different color eyes that you weren't expecting. Alright, I can tell right now that I still don't like this color. I do not like this color, but I can click on it and do that. Go to isolate, select the group again, click on it now, click on that, click on that. Now I can change this again. It's like too red. I want it to be slightly a little bit more oranger. Like right here. Change the whole entire thing. Let's go back in and we are going to change some of these colors. Let's change this. I want it to be brown. I'm going to put white for now. Change it. This. If you press the shift button,